Some motherfuckers. Fuck. Ah, no, now I have the board. Okay. Some motherfuckers. Jose Martinez Alcantara and Yabokir Sindarov have been reached the having reached the tiebreaks of the quarterfinal of the World Cup after two draws in the classical games. And in the first game of the tiebreaks, Alcantara go with the white pieces, and he opened with b3. I really like this game, so I'm going to show us this game on the first rapid game of the tiebreak between Alcantara and Sindarov. Okay, Alcantara opened with b3, knight f6, b3. Okay, this can transpose to the English like they made in the game with c4. Of course, b3 is so flexible because maybe black can play d5 and now is avoiding the English, or e5 here, or that's the main move. That's okay. Sindarov goes for the fianchetto variation with knight f6, bishop b2, d6 and c4. Just having the possibility, giving away the possibility of play the English. So now bishop d7. It's logical. If white plays the bishop on b2, we're going to counter that bishop with our bishop on g7. So logical. g3, c5, playing more or less symmetrical. Bishop d2, knight c6, knight f3. Now let's see that the position is more or less symmetrical. The only change is that white have the pawn on b3 and black have the knight on c6. And of course, white have the bishop on b2. But it's more or less symmetrical. d6. And here the match is like the directly breakthrough with d4. The problem is that Martinez plays short castle, now avoiding e5, controlling d4 and closing the center, reaching a more or less equal position. But okay, short castle is interesting too. But the Martinez prefer a little bit break directly with d4. She takes, knight takes, and the whole point of white position is that now we have very good bishop on g2 and on b2. And apart of that, the c4 pawn gives white some extra space. So that's why white is really fine. I need to put close to the microphone. Okay. That's why white is fine here. So bishop d7, short castle, and queen d2 could be here a plan. But okay, short castle by Alcantara, and now Sindarov play e5. So logical, closing the controlling d4 to not allow the central breakthrough. d3 by Alcantara. Okay, of course, if you can break with d4, you should play quietly with d3, a game of 16 pawns. Short castle, knight c3, h6. The idea of a6 is can develop the bishop to b6, avoiding knight d5. Knight d2, of course, he played bishop b6. Knight d2 is a logical move because you are open your d2 bishop, and now after h6, the knight cannot jump to g5 never. So knight d2 is so logical. You are open your bishop, and in some lines you can king with knight d4 to trade one pair of knights. Bishop b6, and he made that. Knight d4. The idea is trade the f6 knight to have more control of the d5 square. Queen d7, and here Alcantara have this interesting idea of take on f6, knight d5, and queen d2 followed by f4. This could be so interesting for white, putting pressure. But okay, he played queen d2, a normal move. Knight d8, just avoiding that idea. Knight d5, and here the best move by black was f5, ejecting the knight. Instead of that, he played knight d7. This move is a little bit passive because can look like the knight on d5 is strong and we are trading that, but point that after take and b4, white have better position because just have very good bishops on b2 and on g2, the knight into the center, and he's trying to take space with b4 and trading a b pawn for a c pawn, who is benefit because you are going to have more central pawns than your opponent. So b4, very good breakthrough and very typical. Rook d8, and now he take. Now we see that white trade his b pawn for the black d pawn, who of course is in white benefit. 23, b6, knight c3, queen d7, and now a4, very good move of Alcantara, trying to open the a1 rook. Because okay, the queen, the bishops, and the knight of Alcantara are so well placed. But now what he wants is just try to improve the rooks with a4, very good move. Knight d6, black improved his pieces. Now knight d5, reaching the great square for the knight. Knight f5, queen d2, knight d4. Now, okay, he played queen d1 because black is threatening. For example, we made a stupid move. Black is threatening knight b6, taking the exchange. But here was a very, very good idea. Take on d4. And now, white is just winning this position because after she takes rook f1, the g7 bishop is a very, very bad piece. And now white have two good pieces for the d5 knight and the g2 bishop, and black have only one good piece, but the g7 bishop is a bad piece. So now we have the two good pieces against one. So the white is just winning. And for example, if he takes, now we have knight f4, and now rook a4 open the rook, and the huge problem of black position is the g7 bishop. That's the huge problem of the black position. So it's logical to trade one of the black good pieces to just keep only the g7 bishop over the board. But okay, queen d1, Alcantara missed that option. Bishop g4, f3, bishop e6. This maneuver of black is typical, just uh, weaken the black squares of white king. So very good maneuver of bishop g4, bishop e6, weaken the white king, e4, and now very good move again by Sindarov, f5 breaking the center. But finally, Alcantara understand that he should just take on d4. She takes, and now okay, f4 was slightly better, but okay, he played queen b3, f take, h5. Here, of course, h4 is logical, because if not, black wants to play h4, so h4 is logical, of course. Uh, Here, okay, the machines prefer just to trade everything, and because Sindarov play king h8, who is much more inaccuracy, so that's stronger, just try to trade all the pieces. Okay, now the f8 bishop, if okay, we managed to trade all the rooks, not going to be so bad because can defend this black squares, and it's not going to be easy to only win the game with the bishop and with the queen. So king h8, king e2, bishop d4. Finally, Alcantara managed to open here rook with a5, very good move. He takes queen e3, bishop e2, bishop e3. And now queen e8 is a mistake because, okay, it can look like it's a natural move, but black have this idea of sacrifice the queen. Queen h3, king h3, bishop f1, king h2, and rook f3. Now he's attacking on d3. Yes, the rook is coming to f8, and black have like yes, one pawn, one rook, and a bishop for the queen. Especially that he have the bishop pair, who is important in this position. So the position here is more or less equal. Very interesting idea of queen sacrifice. Because okay, with queen e8, white is still more, yes, more activated, especially because of the knight on d5, and this bishop is still being so bad. So knight c7, queen c6, rook f8, knight d6. And here the Sindarov play a very strange move because he played rook f7, where you are okay. I understand that he wants to keep the rook into the f5 to can enter on f2 one day, but you are giving the knight this jump, so this move is so strange. Here Alcantara made the move rook a2, who is completely winning, but he have more winning moves. I remember that queen b2. This idea is winning too, so rook f7 in general. Okay, he tries to keep the rook active into the f5, but now. No, no, this is time to just play passive, play solid with rook e8. Not passive, it's just solid. Play rook e8. Just okay, when I'm attacking your knight. If you take, okay, I say okay. And now the position after bishop g4, important move. Trading this bishop, the position is equal. And if knight g5, we just stay trying to capture the knight with bishop f6. So with rook e8, Sindarov will draw the game. But okay, he played rook f7, which is a completely blunder because for many reasons, but Alcantara respond with one good move with rook a2 attacking the bishop, and later if is coming knight d8. So white is just winning here. The rest of the game was more or less easy for Alcantara. Yeah, Sindarov tried to complicate something with bishop f8, queen a5 takes, and now he finally takes the exchange. And yes, the rest was more or less easy. F5, and finally after this check defending, and now he's pushing e7, he will win the game. During the game was a interesting tactic. I remember who was that here. I don't remember. Okay, king here. Yes. Now I remember. If d2 here was so interesting because okay, why now a black is promoting a queen. So we are going to play e5. If you promote, now this is checkmate. Or here checkmate here. So now logically black should take on e5, rook e5, queen had d1 queen, but it's incredible because after rook e7, black have no square with the queen, or have no move with the queen to defend the g7 bishop. So, cause d4 is discover, sorry, a1 is cover, so that's a really nice tactic here. The rook e7, so that's for that reason. Sindarov tried to play queen f6 to complicate something a little bit the game, but after queen e3, Sindarov resigned. So Alcantara had to start so well the tiebreaks with a yes with a victory in the fair rapid game. So let's see if he finally managed to qualify to candidates. Bye bye, motherfuckers.